You are listening to Fresh Bread, Dr. Harry Reeder's daily devotional from the Alliance of Confessing Evangelicals.
Jesus is on his way to redeem his people. He's not only teaching with parables and precepts, but he is also teaching through the glorious acts that he is doing that become occasions for sermonic expositions. And here is one in Luke 13 and verse 10. Now he was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath, and there was a woman who had a disabling spirit for 18 years. She was bent over and could not fully straighten herself. When Jesus saw her, he called her over and said to her, "Woman, you are freed from your disability." And he laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight, and she glorified God. But the ruler of the synagogue, indignant because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath, said to the people, "There are 6 days in which work ought to be done. Come on those days and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day." But then the Lord answered him, "You hypocrite, do not each of you on the Sabbath untie his ox or his donkey from the manger and lead it away to water? And ought not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan bound for 18 years, be loosed from this bond on the Sabbath day?" And he said these things. All his adversaries were put to shame, and all the people rejoiced at all the glorious things that were done by him. Here is a moment where Jesus is healing a woman. She is possessed or demonized by a spirit for 18 years. That spiritual oppression in her life had a physical effect. This is not telling you that people with physical defects are demonized. This is telling you of an individual case where a woman who had been under the oppression of demonic activity, that spiritual deprivation in her life had a physical result. Happens all the time, doesn't it? You go out and you spiritually engage in the idolatry of alcohol consumption and become drunk. It's going to have a physical effect on you. Here, this woman with her spiritual problem manifested with a physical disability. And so the Lord healed the disability to point out the healing that would take place in her heart spiritually, in the liberation of her soul, and the demonstration not only of what the spiritual depravity had done to her body, but now what Jesus, who gives her new life spiritually, can do to the body as he restores it. Well, the result is people come indignant. It's the Sabbath day. You can't do that. Well, listen, if you can be healed on 6 days, why would not on the day of spiritual renewal you receive a physical healing through the spiritual blessings of redeeming grace at work in the heart and soul of this woman? Well, let me tell you something even more pointed. You and I are saved. Why? Because of the atoning work of Christ on the cross. When did he go to the cross? The day before the Sabbath, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. And what does he do after that? He rests in the grave on the Sabbath, and then he comes forth on the first day of the week. In other words, the redeeming work of the Lord on Yom Kippur, consummated as he rested in the grave on the Sabbath, coming forth on the first day, proclaiming the resurrection and our redemption. Therein we are healed with not only a new heart and born again spiritually, but we are also promised what? A new body for the new heavens and the new earth. And this woman becomes a picture of what he is about to do for us, going to the grave and resting on the Sabbath and coming forth on the first day of the week. While we do not do our normal work, and on the Lord's Day we focus upon spiritual renewal, there is a place on the Sabbath and on the day of worship and on the day of resting from physical labor. There is a call to engage in ministries of mercy and necessity. They are not only valid, they are to be honored on the Lord's Day as well. And that is another slice of fresh bread.
As we celebrate our country's 250th birthday, Dr. Reeder offers fascinating insights into some of our key founding fathers and God's providential influence in their lives. Ask for your copy of God's Providence and Our Country. Call 1-800-488-1888.